Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Become a Guest to Apply. All right, so today I have Sam Terese on the line, and he's President and CEO at Alverno Laboratories. Sam, welcome to the show.
Great, thanks. Welcome. Glad to be here, Adam. Appreciate it.
All right, Sam. So excited to have you on the show today. I know we've been trying to connect and we've been trying to get you on this show for a while. So excited. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, including Alverno Laboratories and, outside of even COVID-19, which maybe gets a lot of the media headlines. So we're going to talk a lot about the future of what you're doing. But before we do that, we'll start this episode like we start them all with our Mission Matters Minute. So Sam, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission here. Sam, what mission matters to you?
Yeah, for Alverno Laboratories, our mission is about, caring for patients and the communities that we serve, and really an organization driven by innovation and trying to create new and better ways to provide care to patients. That's what we try to do each and every day in our world, even beyond COVID and to many other areas. So I'm looking forward to kind of sharing what we're doing as an organization.
Awesome. Love bringing mission-based entrepreneurs and executives on the line to share, what gets them motivated, what gets them up in the morning and going. So thank you for sharing that. Let's just start it off by maybe telling us a little bit more about your background and really how you got started in this industry.
Sure. Yeah, interesting enough, I've been in the laboratory world in healthcare for now over 40 years. So I've been doing this quite a while. In lots of different roles in lots of different environments, from large academic research centers to pure research facilities, hospitals. Just about my entire career has been really dedicated to laboratories. So I don't get to do the real heavy-duty science anymore, but I kind of enjoy leading the organization and trying to get us to new and better places for our patients. And that's a little bit about me and my healthcare, but yeah, long time healthcare person.
So it's safe to say, obviously over 40 years, you've seen a lot of change, a lot of innovation, a lot of just things that have happened in the world over that period of time. And since you've been in that same laboratory environment, I feel that you have a really unique vantage point, especially serving in different roles. What excites you right now? Like, what excites you right now about the evolution of healthcare in general, but the laboratory setting?
Yeah, healthcare. In the last probably 2 years, yes, we've had to deal with COVID, and it's been actually a thrill to see kind of the laboratory on the front page for a period of time where we kind of at least used to living in that world where we're kind of hidden away, the secret of most healthcare organizations.
Yeah. Just I was thinking about that. Like, you guys were the rock stars of this. Laboratories were the backbone of everything.
Yep. It's in my entire career, I'd never seen that much attention on the laboratory space, and it was really great to see, so many laboratories, so many colleagues just really, come to the forefront and really deliver. And just great to hear our health systems, our physicians, even patients saying, thank God you were here, and helping us get through kind of the challenges. So that's been obviously a very important piece of what we've been kind of engaged in. But being good laboratories, we couldn't just stop there. So, we continue to search and find, new and other ways and other technologies to deliver different levels of care, not just for COVID, but for many, many other diseases and things that our patients are experiencing. So just one little piece of it, although a big piece that we got a lot of attention for, was COVID.
Yeah, and I think that's a great transition. So let's go further into maybe Alverno Laboratories. So first off, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Yeah, so Alverno in itself is kind of an innovative company just in the model that we exist. So we're this integrated laboratory that owns and operates, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30, 40 hospital laboratories across multiple systems. So we're this integrative model that is very hard to actually put together, and we've been at this now since the late 90s, where we have this very large central laboratory, which is kind of the technology and innovation hub. And then we, support all of the activities in these hospitals, serving their patient care needs. So the model itself, in terms of just how we're structured, is really relatively young, and there's not a large number of organizations that actually are able to pull this off. Kind of hard keeping everybody together, working in standardized ways, approaching quality and delivering care the way that we do at Alverno.
What do you think are some of that secret sauce, some of those key elements that allow Alverno to operate in this really unique model?
Well, of course, it's our associates.
Yeah.
They're I think the glue and the secret sauce to any organization, and so we're very blessed to have dedicated people across 2 states here in the Midwest, somewhere north of, I would say, over 2,000 associates each and every day doing that. And then, we work very hard at trying to make sure everybody understands our mission. Why is everybody coming to work? We hope that everybody is coming to work, for that notion of providing great care, doing things in innovative and creative ways. Those are critical elements. And then we have something called Alverno Business Systems, in which it's really our approach to quality and continuous improvement, and really heavily based on lean and those kinds of activities. So, each and every day, each and every shift in our laboratory, there are teams coming together to say, okay, what can we do to make this even better? Even when we're at the top of our game from a performance standpoint, we're still challenging ourselves to what can we do more, what can we do better, what can we do faster, what can we do to better meet the needs of our patients and our physicians. So that's another critical element. And then I think we get into this technology and how we apply it and use it, and you get other things, standardization and knowledge. And then the other thing we do that probably is less known is that none of this is a secret. So we really have, as part of our mission, to tell the world what we're doing, and hopefully somebody can learn from that and maybe take some of our practices and internalize it in their organization. And so hopefully we're serving the broader community. But those are just some of the things that I think that set us apart.
Let's stick on that idea of technology and innovation, and what Alverno is doing on that side of the table to kind of continue to get better, right? Like you said, even if you're operating at the top of the game, you want to get better. Like, what are some of the things Alverno's exploring?
Yeah, I mean, I'll reflect for a moment in terms of where we've been, I guess. And sometimes we move from one thing to the next, and we forget to celebrate occasionally, not too often, but occasionally.
The entrepreneur or the executive plight, right? I feel like that's just our condition, at least in the United States. That's our condition. It's like,
I'm not
on
sure
to the next pause.
So, I mean, going back, a handful of years, we were some of the first in the country to bring in things like automation and microbiology, things like, MALDI-TOF, which is a fancy name for some technology that really, revolutionized how we deal with infection, and sepsis being the most serious of those. That technology literally allowed us to speed the result and the knowledge of how to treat a patient by 24 to 48 hours. And that dramatic improvement.
And prior to that, just for context, prior to that, what would a timeline have been, just roughly?
Oh, it could be up to 72 to 96 hours. So a good day.
So cutting it down significantly.
There's something that is very rewarding when somebody says you may have saved a life. So that's really how important laboratory is, I think, to the field. And that's just one example. And, we've had others, things we've done with high sensitivity troponin, which is a marker for heart attacks.
Yeah.
And once again, that ability to better diagnose, better give that information back to the clinicians allows them to intercede much quicker. And then when you look at it from the standpoint of, one of the big challenges we have in cardiac care is that, the symptoms for a heart attack in a male and a female are very different. I've been told the high sensitivity troponin that we're doing actually has improved outcomes for many of our female patients that may not have been recognized as having a heart attack. So
wow.
Lots of good stuff like that. There's real meaning for patient care, and there are many others. Some may not be as big or as exciting as those, but I mean, in a given year, we're generating or modifying or improving somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 or 50 different tests.
Wow.
And so we continue to do. Those are the little ones that I don't know that we necessarily advertise or talk a lot about, but that's an ongoing thing, and we've been doing that for well over a decade. Some of our more recent successes, probably the two most common, one would be our movement into next-gen sequencing for the treatment of oncology patients. And so, today we can, look at somebody's cancer at a genetic level, and we're looking at could be up to 500 plus genes of importance that allows us maybe to get a patient to a better clinical trial or a better treatment and hopefully a better outcome. And so that ties into our precision medicine program. And we're not the site where you can send the swab and we're going to tell you all your risk factors. But we're more focused on kind of that oncology patient and cancer. That's where we think that we can make at least the biggest difference. And we'll leave that other stuff to the mail-in places that you can do it. So we're not looking at your genetic ancestry and all that. That's somebody else's world. But then probably the other area that has really garnered some excitement that we're pretty unique at is what we're doing in digital pathology. I've been told we have one of the largest installed bases of scanners in the entire world. Now, I don't have any documentation to prove that, but it's kind of a cool thing to say.
That is a cool thing.
But we'll be scanning somewhere in the nature of, I want to say 1 million to 1.5 million slides on an annual basis.
It's amazing.
And, you think about that, and today we package all of that up into a car and drive it to all of our locations. And now we don't do that anymore. We send an image, and our pathologists are looking at a computer screen, and much like we're doing with a Zoom or a Teams meeting, now it's kind of the norm in our world in the administrative side, and that's how they're making their diagnoses. So once again, it's just another step quicker for getting that information out. And so that's been an exciting initiative. We've been working on that for a little while. And then kind of the newest component of that is some people call it augmented technology or AI or whatever you want to frame it in. But we have some partnerships where we're actually now having computers look at those images to help support that making of a diagnosis, which is really kind of cutting edge. So we have a partnership with a company that we're working with to bring that to our patients and our physicians as well. So just exciting times.
Oh man, it is exciting. And I mean, all the different things that you're mentioning. So precision medicine, the digital pathology, like over 1 million slides processed in a year. So instead of put them in the car and like going to the different labs, like that time saving can save lives. And then now you're talking about the idea of AI and between AI and machine learning, like the idea that, over time, the more data you have, the more that you more things that you process, it progresses science, it progresses obviously the patient care, and it allows us to learn and to find things that maybe the human eye couldn't necessarily see, or our normal procedures couldn't quite, like, we just can't possibly process that much data. I mean, it's exciting.
I think it's an amazing time. And so much of that is not necessarily visible, and
Mm-hmm.
where it goes next from there. I think those areas of AI are going to continue to explode. I think we're going to see it from even an operations perspective in terms of machine learning, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's really not a world where we're trying to replace anybody. I think
Yeah.
everybody, sometimes fears that technology is going to eliminate a job. It really isn't at all.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and particularly in these days, I mean, we're all challenged by significant labor shortages, and sometimes we sit there and say, where did they all go?
Yeah.
But I think these are just going to be, in our future for a long time. And it's not just in the laboratory space. It's not just, it's throughout, even the consumer side of the world. Think about self-driving cars. Where would we even think about that, a handful of years ago? No, not so sure I want to be in one, but but eventually I think we'll get there.
I want to be in one, Sam. Sign me up. I'm in. If I don't have to ever drive again, if I can, matter of fact, I don't even want windows. I just want screens all around. I want to put like this really high res screen on there so that I can be at the beach on my drive when I'm sitting in LA traffic. Let me just see, like, I'm on the beach right now.
Yeah, I did forget you were in LA. I understand. I've driven in LA traffic, so I do realize that, and maybe I would agree. Put me in a
like the casinos pump something in that air so that I'm fine. Like for some sea breeze.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. It's like, it's just amazing that, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've been at this for a very long time, and it seems like what we did 40 years ago was just simply archaic, and at some levels almost barbaric.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always the joke that the pregnancy test usually involved a rabbit, a living. It's like, I mean, to kind of put that, think we wouldn't even think about doing anything like that today. So it's really a phenomenal time, and I think the challenge that we have organizationally is we got to keep people engaged in that willingness to keep pushing forward. And I think we do a good job at kind of aligning people. They know that's what we do. And the kind of the side pieces, get a whole bunch of associates that are really excited about being here. It makes us unique. It makes people want to be here. I don't think we'll be in a scenario where we're going to stop anytime soon. The interesting, what's coming next, and it's hard to understand, but there's almost a lesson in COVID in that. I mean, in this day and age, you can go to your local pharmacy and buy a COVID test. Yeah. Go home and take your test. Would that work for other tests?
Yeah.
I think we might see that, and we're trying to understand how we fit in the laboratory space, and it's a different fit. It's no longer maybe about doing a test, but how do we support people in their homes?
Yeah.
That might be, I don't know, pick a test, doing a cholesterol test or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And how do we help get that data into the medical record? And so our next wave is trying to understand what we do with all this information. How do we use it? How do we put it together in a way that's can help care and people's health and the communities do better. So it's a great exploration. I don't know that I have the answers. I know there are lots of people in my world that are looking at that, and so are we. But we're still trying to finish off the other things we started. But
Oh yeah,
So
no, I get it, but it is an interesting thought though to think about like the thought of it being kind of hybrid CPG consumer packaged good at the same time, and you're like get your test, but for a lot of things, especially things like you mentioned, like cholesterol, all these other things, diabetes management,
yeah,
like all these
whatever the
other
best.
things.
Yeah, and I think what's gotten me very interested in it, and I don't know if this is appropriate, but I mean, I'm a diabetic.
Hmm.
And so I wear a sensor, and through my cell phone, I send information to my clinician and
Wow,
to whoever else needs it.
wow, yeah,
So, if the technology can do that for that particular disease, if we could do that for other things, might we get people to monitor their lipids or whatever it might
yeah.
be, so that one, they don't end up with heart disease, or two, they don't end up as a diabetic. Mine is not related to anything from a behavioral standpoint. It's just a
Hmm.
medical thing. But I think trying to understand that from the community perspective and what we can do to really keep people healthy.
Well
And
said,
that's the
Sam.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I think we're trying to understand kind of our next venture. We're not there yet,
Hmm.
but I have a sense with all the people we have involved working on it and thinking about it, we will be. We'll work through that, and I'm sure there'll be some ups and downs and some failures. And I think we try to live by the old adage: if we do get it wrong, let's fail quickly here so we can
Yeah.
move on. But
Well,
so
Sam,
interesting times.
have to tell you, been great having you on the show, learning more about Alverno Laboratories, really how you're innovating, really how you're pioneering different things, and thinking about the future, like keeping all of that in mind. Ultimately, for what? For better patient outcomes. I mean, that's what I'm a fan of in general in the healthcare industry is companies that align themselves on all different levels of healthcare, no matter what they do, and especially in the laboratory space, the rock stars, I would say, again, of this whole last year and a half, 2 years of us getting through this thing, and really the backbone of now we see how important these things are, and finally at the forefront. So awesome to get to know more about the business. If somebody is watching this and they want to learn more about Alverno Laboratories, I mean, what's the best way for them to connect?
Well, in these days, it's always going to be something online. So,
Yeah.
check us out on alvernolabs.com,
Mm-hmm.
ALVERNOLABS.com. I think you can follow us on LinkedIn or
Yeah.
connect with us on LinkedIn. You can connect with me on LinkedIn if you'd like. Um, or you can follow us on Facebook, or is it Facebook now, or Meta, or whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. What is it
Um,
called now? I don't know.
So, we're out there in social media. I mean, that's where we are. And oh, by the way, if anybody's interested in careers in
Mm.
laboratory, please let us know, because we're always looking.
Yeah,
It's a
fantastic.
challenging time for that. So, but please follow us and see what we're going to do next.
All right. Well, Sam, it really has been a pleasure having you on the show. And to the audience, as always, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're a first-time listener or visitor. We definitely want you to be a return guest and we bring many, many more mission-based entrepreneurs and executives on the line that really share why they do what they do. So, love to have you tune in. And Sam, really, it has been a pleasure. Thanks for connecting.
Thanks, Adam. Always a pleasure on my side as well to connect. Appreciate it.